So, Caspar, welcome to this interview with the Gulf Times.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, marketing in the conventional sense has ceased to be what it used to be. Players, big and small, are increasingly depending on influencers to push their brands. Where is this heading to?
So I started in this industry in 2010 when YouTube was starting to get big. And essentially what we saw was the democratization of audiences where anyone could build an audience. And really what that means is marketing is going from a place where brands have to engage massive media organizations to them having to engage real people
Yes.
to provide marketing services for their brands and products. So I think the big trend we're seeing is people becoming the center of marketing. Not only people talking about you organically, but just real people being in your content, for example, UGC or paid media. And so, yeah, we at Influencer, we're really excited to have entered the market through influencers. But going forward, as things develop, we see just real people as a massive opportunity for brands to work with.
Right. I read your business leader article, your
Yes.
first one, right?
Yes,
Yeah, you were speaking about your jet lag and all those things.
exactly.
And you started with Paul Newman's example.
I started with,
Paul Newman.
oh yes, Paul Newman,
Paul
yes,
He was a celebrity to begin with.
yes.
But when you started, you are not a celebrity. On the way, you
Yeah.
acquired the status and you have been using that status to push your content.
Yeah.
So you are a creator turned entrepreneur.
Yeah.
So how would you describe the value of creators and the growing creator economy?
Yeah, so in my article for Business Leader, I spoke about Paul Newman, who created a food empire a long time ago.
Yes.
And I think the difference between creators today who are launching their own businesses and maybe traditional celebrities, people like 50 Cent or Jay-Z,
Yes.
is those people have, they were launched into their fame either through their talent for being a musician or incredible actor or something like that. They never had to kind of build their platform from the ground up. There were platforms that existed that they were pushed into. And even though they've built some incredible businesses, I think creators have a unique ability to be a startup. The question is, are they able to transition from creating a startup, because for one, they have really good marketing from the get-go, but can they turn a startup into something that can become a massive corporation and company and have a good exit? And so you are seeing a bunch of companies. I've created a company. You're seeing people like Mr. Beast launching companies, festivals. You're seeing KSI with Prime, and these are just to name some of them. But then every single creator I see in the world seems to have a company in their bio, which is why I talk about bio entrepreneurship as a new trend. I don't know how many of them will build big businesses, but we'll definitely see some over the next few years.
Okay. And when you started off, AI was nowhere.
Yeah,
Now it is everywhere.
yeah.
So with all the unpredictable disruptions that AI
Yeah.
is bringing for the good or for the bad, where do you see
Yeah.
this headed to?
So a lot of people have different views on AI. Ultimately, I don't think we know exactly what's going to happen yet. But I am a firm believer when it comes to the entertainment industry that there is a place for AI, there is a place for people, and then there's a place for the combination of AI and people. So what I mean by that is there'll be some content that you don't really care who's making the content. You just want access to the information. And I think AI can do a great job of that. But then there's some sort of content. Let's use football for an example. I don't think people would find it very interesting to watch two football teams made up of AI football players playing against each other. You want to know there's a real person there. You want to know the backstory. And so, creators like myself, where people were watching me for me rather than just the content I was creating, I think they still have a massive opportunity. I actually think they're going to be more in demand than before because people and brands are going to want to work with authentic creators rather than just like, is this an AI? Is this a model? What is this? And so, yeah, you're going to see opportunities there. And then you'll see the combination of the two, which is when creators like that can create more content, be more inspired because they can use tools that can basically replace a lot of the time it used to make them to edit or doing some sort of crazy CGI. They're able just to do that with a click of the fingers or a couple of words in the keyboard. So I think it's very exciting. But I don't think anyone can fully predict what's going to happen. And if they say they can, I think they're full of shit. If I may say so, you might have to bleep that out.
Yeah. So, but do you still believe that human touch, that personal touch is important?
Yeah. Again, I'm just a firm believer that people are still interested in other people, and that, and when it's that sort of content, that's super important. Some people say you were not going to know what's real, what's not real.
Yes.
I think there might be something around there, but I think people will build tools to prove what's real and what's not real, and then people will be more interested in the real content.
Yeah, that's a great point. What is the secret to staying relevant?
So, I mean, the secret to staying relevant, I think, is to attach yourself to relevant subjects rather than the relevancy relying on you as a person. I think for me, I'm no longer in the YouTube game, but if I was today trying to make videos every single week, I would be making content about something bigger than myself. And I think the ones who are able to stay relevant about themselves, that's a really hard game to be in. And I think it's really draining, actually, because you're constantly trying to one-up yourself. And so people who say you're a gaming creator, I think it's quite easy to potentially stay relevant because every time a new game comes out, you just talk about the game.
Yes.
Or if you do news, you can talk about the news or technology. But if your content is about yourself, I think that's a really difficult space to be in.
So you have inspired, I think, a generation of creators to turn entrepreneurs.
Yeah.
So any word of advice for them?
I suppose my word of advice for creators to turn into entrepreneurs, I think it's super important that you have a good team around you and you're open to listening and delegating. I think creators do like to micromanage because they're so used to doing everything themselves.
Yes.
Remember I spoke about them being good at startups?
Yes.
I think when it gets to a stage where it's too big to do everything yourself, a creator needs to learn how to pass stuff on to people around them and trust those people around them.
Thank you.
Awesome.
Thank you very much for sitting down with us.
Thank you very much.
Wish you all the best, Caspar.
Really enjoyed it. Thank you.
Thank you.